How's everyone doing? Welcome to the final episode of After the After Hours with your boy TraderPrad. The final day of this week is tomorrow going to be a free fall Friday. Now get ready for tomorrow. Powell going on the microphone. Powell going on the microphone again. Get ready for tomorrow. So I do have a watch list ready, but if you guys are ready, hit that like and subscribe. Hit that like and subscribe. Thank you guys for all the love. Thank you guys for all the support. This is your boy TraderPrad. TraderPrad. But if you guys are ready for this show to get started, why don't we dive into the full screen and hit that like and subscribe. Yo, what's up, people? Oh, the lights are off. Alexa, lights on. There we go. Now we're good. How's everyone doing? Ready, rocked, and loaded. Hopefully you had a good day today. I for sure had a good day. To start off with, not so good, but later on in the day, amazing day to wrap off the day. Potentially not, not beating what I did today for the rest of the month. So pretty good day for myself here. Makes up for the last week where I was just absolutely getting beat by the market every single day, bent over. So makes up for all of that. So I'm pretty excited after tonight. Also, what I'm really excited about, the beat's really loud. My bad, sorry. Thank you, Dieter. Also, what I'm really excited about is TradingView. I finally upgraded TradingView because I use TradingView so much. I know I've previously said I don't really care about using, paying for another software and so on, but no, I finally decided to upgrade my TradingView package because I use it so much. So excited to play with all the new features that they have in there for the higher tiers. So volume profile, TPO. If you see me start venturing into new styles of looking at charts and stocks, don't start freaking out now, okay? So Prad's gonna be up all night learning some new ways of looking at stocks, new ways of looking at charts, TPOs, volume charts, 30-second charts, 5-second charts, 1-second chart, going into the goddamn matrix. Crackhead lifestyle. But no, I'm pretty excited about what's coming up in the future. Obviously, as I've previously mentioned, with Trump going into power, markets are potentially having a lot of upside. We talked about this a little bit yesterday on Victor's stream. If you showed up on Victor's stream yesterday, 1:30, then we had a lot of fun over there. Expecting a lot of upside on the market, so we'll see how that sets up. A little bit of a pullback on the Bitcoin itself. A couple Bitcoin stocks obviously pulling back based on how Bitcoin's pulling back, but opportunities are still there in the Bitcoin sector, right? We still have potentially a pullback. The Grim Reaper, Jim Cramer, has spoken about Bitcoin, and he said Bitcoin's a buy. Obviously, when he says it's a buy, it's a rest in peace to that asset. So we might have to be careful for Bitcoin. It basically put in the top. If you notice, when he said it, that basically put in the top for Bitcoin in the short term at least. So hopefully that doesn't end up being that way. We got today's theme of thumbnail on the YouTube side. If you're watching me on YouTube, you know that the thumbnail is drones. So we got drone stocks flying to the high side, pun intended. We got drone stocks flying higher over here. Joby, Archer, R-Cats, a bunch of other names over here to keep an eye on in that sector. Energy names. So we have to kind of create the watch list today. So I'm just trying to jog through the stocks that came into play today. So let's work on creating the watch list together, because I was pretty late in getting home. So I was pretty late getting home. So we're gonna have to work together today. No watch list already made. You guys are gonna see how I actually go through curating a watch list for you guys. This is the first for you guys, I think, or maybe a second, or maybe a third. I don't usually show this process because this process is the secret process. This is the secret sauce, okay? This is the part that people don't usually show you, but this is the secret sauce. It's all about stock selection. So first, I go through couple of my favorite follows. So for example, Centerpoint posts an awesome review every single day at the end of the trading day of how stocks moved, what stocks moved up or down, and what was the news behind it. So clearly looks like Sava got smoked today. I actually looked at Sava for some opportunities, did not trade it, but I was looking at Sava for some opportunities. So instantly Sava goes on the watch list, because now I remember that, hey, yeah, it made a move. Even though I didn't trade it, we might need to keep an eye on it for potentially a trade tomorrow. Xena, this stock, my algo, my paper trading algo, let me correct that, which I'm looking to deploy in real market very, very soon. Right, but my paper trading algo that I'm testing at the moment in live paper trading, it got long Xena at 250, and it basically got out Xena at $5. So it captured a big chunk of the move on Xena today on the paper trading account. Was Monster watching this move take place, up 258% based on compliance agreements, supply chain initiatives, and also apparent short covering seemed to take the stock higher. So another short flow, maybe small cap short flow. So Xena obviously on the watch list over here. I remember watching this today quite a bit, so that one's up there. SMCI sentiment improved after S&P 500 and major exchanges said that they would continue to keep the stock on the books still and not really dump them. So I guess that's a good thing. Not I guess, it is a good thing. So SMCI showing some strength, although it did sell off after showing some strength and then just traded sideways if I remember correctly, but still on the watch list. QUBT, AWS announced quantum embark program. So we're now seeing the shift into quantum computing, and AI is kind of the toy that you stop playing with. You grew up and you started playing with different toys, right? You used to play with action figures probably, and now you're starting playing with a lighter instead. You just start playing with different toys, and the market is kind of doing the same thing. Markets growing up, markets maybe just moving the sectors away at the moment, and we got a couple sectors taking, or a couple stocks in this sector being activated at the same time. So we want to take a look at the quantum sector. Obviously the biggest name in the quantum sector at the current time is IonQ. That tried to have a good move to the upside today, but then got sold right back down. You have QUBT, Dieter getting very excited for QUBT, so that one's obviously on the watch list. Let me just quickly put in IonQ, QUBT, and then I got another person here that actually posted a great tweet over the weekend, not the long weekend, over the weekend, of some stocks to keep an eye on. So other stocks in the same quantum computer sector, QBTS, I'm guessing QMMM was one of them because that showed up on my scanners today too. QMCO. What is QMCO, right? So we got a bunch of stocks over here that popped up in the drone sector, in the quantum sector. So lots of names for us to keep an eye out for. Let me actually go to my other scanner over here. So we got QMCO. What is QMCO? Quantum Corporation, SMTC, Semtech Corporation, and then some drone companies. So let's go to add those also on the watch list. QMCO, QBTS, ASPI. So those are all your quantum computing watch list. You can take a look at, maybe GEV, power generation. You got these stocks currently going higher also, but I'm gonna completely ignore them. We're gonna come back over here to see what stocks moved today. Rivian up 13% after company signaled the end of 4-year legal battle over alleged trade secret theft. Okay, so I guess that's whatever catalyst, honestly. But RIVN RGTI says chat to add on the watch list too. Yes, I do remember that one. We will put that on the watch list. Qbert, QUBT, QBT, RGTI, Rivian. So I'm not sure if that one's enough of a catalyst. Let's go see how it looks like on the daily chart. That's not a bad move on Rivian. If it holds above 11 on pullbacks or 1150, maybe it's worth keeping an eye on. Obviously Bitcoin sector always on watch list, so that's going to be MSTR, COIN, MARA, IBIT, all on the watch list. So MSTR down 4%, Bitcoin retraced below 95,000, ENPH up 8% recently announcing the launch of the IQ Power Pack 1500 in the US and Canada. So whatever that news is, hopefully good news, taking ENPH back to the upside. Though their report wasn't, it kind of broke the stock down, right? So nice little hold into $50-$60 on ENPH, and this catalyst taking it back higher, 8% move up today. Potentially could add it on the watch list, but I'm not sure it's gonna have any sort of a follow-through move up tomorrow. Let's go take a look at ENPH on one of my other we're just going into the earnings anchored VWAP, so you would kind of, and also the 21-day moving average. So you're gonna really have to get above this area for me to get bullish about the stock. So what is that? 71.60, 73, that's 72.50, that white line, or the 72.50? No, that's 73.50. So you're gonna have to really get above 73.50 for me to think bullish on ENPH. So I'm not sure I even want to look for that long tomorrow. COP down 5% after company announced a cash tender offer for debt securities. Not sure I want to care about that. OKE down 4% after the company announced plans to acquire the remaining N-Link units in a 4.3 billion stock deal. That is OKE, which is actually, I traded today, and a big pullback to the downside. I was looking for a nice bounce off of these previous levels, and actually it did give you that bounce. I was just a little too early, so I took a little bit of a beating on this name on that move. Eventually did get the long, but basically just got flat after getting the long and gave up on it. Looks like it moved much higher into my target. Exactly what APP did today too. APP gave you a beautiful long off of the 319, 320 area by dipping down into those lows. That was a pretty good long on APP today. But anyways, coming back to my watch list creation, NNE down 22% after announcing a 60 million private placement offer. Not looking good, NNE. So NNE basically diluting private placement offer and coming in for NNE. Does that hurt OKLO? Yes, it does. Does that hurt SMR? Yes, it does. SMR still looking good though. Looks like SMR is going to stay above the most recent breakout still. That's also the all-time high area at the moment. The most recent all-time high, you can say. The previous week's highs, well, previous week's highs are actually a little bit higher, but Still, you got a lot of consolidation highs in these areas, and we're bouncing just off of those areas. So SMR still looking good at the moment. If we're interested in the energy sector, you know, we're still watching NNE, OKLO, and SMR. But I'm going to potentially not put both of those on my watch list unless OKLO pushes back into this area. So if my pre-market scanners are saying that, hey, OKLO is taking out yesterday's highs, I will see it on my scanners, and then I'll start looking at it for a potential trade into 28 or something. But I don't think it's worth for me to put it on my watch list and really be prepared for it. SMR might be something to keep an eye on. If we do see support still coming around this area, double bottom almost from yesterday's high and so yesterday's low and today's low. Not really a true double bottom, but around the same area. If we do get support in this area again, I think looking long will not be a bad idea, because that bad news was mainly for NNE. These stocks just simply pulled back with the whole basket. What's the next stock? SRRK up 26% after ooh, okay, let's see how you move today. Nice little breakout. Okay, I mean, you already gapped up, consolidated, and then broke out again. That's kind of beautiful, almost poetic if you ask me. Now at this point, any pullback and staying above 35-38, you could call that the gap close and looking long, but the stock could still come all the way back to really previous close, which is what, $30, the true gap close. So couple opportunities over here to look for liquidity. Not a lot of trading potentially took place in this area. You could use things such as volume profile, see how we can use this. So not a lot of volume actually traded in this area. You can see how both of that volume point of control right there in that area. Then you got a bunch of trading in this area, bunch of trading volume in this area. So clearly that whole pocket of zone up to $32 is almost a resistance that we just broke out of. And then no volume over here, so the stock could backfill. That's the terminology they say if to see if the demand is still here as the supply starts to test the demand. But if the demand starts to step up and start showing you demand in a higher area, then the supply might want to pull away and pull their orders and go much higher away from the current bids, because the bids are being very aggressive. So you're just watching for this whole battle, looking to see how the buyers come into play anywhere in front of these levels that we just looked at. SRRK. Let's go quickly take a look at this name also on Finviz to see the flow. What the hell? Oh, okay, there we go. I just scrolled a little bit too low. I was like, what happened? 22% short float. We got 68 million shares float total. So, still in the small cap. It says 4 billion. I'd say still in the small cap, still in the squeeze name, obviously in the squeeze name, and with some sort of a positive catalyst, I guess. Causing the stock to go up to the north side. We'll keep an eye on it to see if any other opportunity set up tomorrow on this one. So that is scanning through center point. Then we go through earnings. Ooh, Zoom reported earnings today. So Zoom goes on the earnings watch list. A goes on the earnings watch list. Boom, boom. What else? We got anything tomorrow pre-market? Anything else today after hours? Nothing else really. ANF, that was a big one to keep an eye on. Kohl's, BBY, yes, Macy's, DKS, Burl, gimme, put all these on my list right here. Sadly, they all report pre-market, so I'm gonna have to get into work hella early just so I could take advantage of the moves, or even be able to prepare for them off the open or whatever. But that's just the nature of the game. Watch list also dying down a little bit, looking at the earnings board. Sad. I don't like seeing the earnings board going lower like this. But hey, at least we got some opportunities tomorrow. After hours, Dell, CrowdStrike, Workday, Autodesk, HP. Make sure you tune in at 8 o'clock. We'll take a look at the reports using Benzinga, which we're going to use today also. But we're going to use Benzinga to read the reports like we are going to for Zoom tonight. For Zoom, all the links below in the description. Please go check them out. That is the earnings board watch list. Then I do another quick scan over here to see if any stocks stand out. Oh yeah, we got to take a look at the drone stocks, obviously. So the drone stocks being ACHR, ADP. I don't think ADPT is a drone stock. No, it's just another biotech stock that was up 18%. Probably should take a look at it. But the ADPT, ACHR, SMTC, let's put these ones on the watch list and then we can go find out what these are. SMTC, KODK, I know KODK, ACHR, TDOC, Teladoc, JOBY, TDOC, I'll put TODC before. Oh, RCAT, Doc. Okay, there we go, T-Doc. And then we still want to take a look at probably NVIDIA. We want to probably look at Tesla. We want to look at potentially Apple, Amazon, Meta. Anything else we might want to take a look at, chat? Don't think anything else. And then after that, we pull up my trusty little tool here that I use for scraping ATRs. So let's go pull out the watch list ATR scraper. And then I type away. So give me a second here. 4.15, 0.76, 4.13, 3.13, 0.92, 2.35. These are all your quantum computing names with less than sub dollar ATRs, except for QMCO, $2.3 ATR over there. MSTR, potentially $20 ATR still. Let's go see. Sorry, $46. Okay, I'm wrong. $25 for a coin. My phone is going off for some reason, not sure why. 2.75, 2.54, 3.30, 6.92, 0.82. Cold 0.82 only. You better give me a $2 ATR tomorrow or I'm not even looking for a trade. 2.69, 0.56, 6.97. Didn't Macy's go down today? Did they already report? I kind of remember seeing Macy's on my scanners today that they were down on the day. Am I confusing that with something else today, chat? Maybe you guys can correct me, but looks like Macy's reporting tomorrow pre-market along with a bunch of other stocks that we're for sure going to be interested in. Today there was quite a bit of a weirdness in the market. The market just went a lot of back and forth until eventually it tried to crack down. It went into yesterday's high, if I remember correctly. It went into yesterday's high and then kind of bounced off of that, or just stayed around there. So just was a weird market today. Weird market, if you ask me. I'm just glad I ended up green, big green. That's too. So shout out to the market. Shout out to the. Sometimes you just get gifts from the market. You take it. I'm just gonna quickly add the scandal. That's right, the Macy's scandal says TH. Thank you. That was the news why they went down. Now I remember why. Thank you, TH. You can always count on TH to point out a scandal or a scam, because TH, he is the character from Pink Panther. Well, what's that character's name? Inspector Jacques Clouseau. Because France is France and justice is justice. Inspector Jacques Clouseau. We're missing a bunch of names over here potentially that we might need to keep an eye on, obviously, which is the AI sector. A bunch of names in the AI sector. Crypto sector, we already have those. Fintech, UPST. Yes, we need to watch UPST, Square, and Affirm. Our watch list just got bigger. Our watch list just got bigger. All right, let's go add these ones on the board over here. Palantir. Ooh. CLTR, APP, Shopify, Snow. I'm gonna skip all the other ones. We already have Nvidia. Looking at fintech, Affirm, Square, UPST, SoFi. Fine, I have it. We already have Joby and Archer. And okay, there we go. We'll grab the ATRs for those ones when we get to that point. All right, fine. We have a fucking huge watch list, dude. Let's start with the one that got absolutely destroyed today, Sava with the big move, you know, all the way back down. This is an FDA catalyst move. I don't think the stock is going to zero, but also it'll be, you know, a big question as to who would come in and buy the stock. Are you a bag holder on Sava? Oh, you're saying shame to the person who's late. Yeah, shame. I mean, this stock over here was a big drop. Usually there's a setup called the SSR long, which is you just wait for the stock to show you a good buying opportunity, and you get long on any stock that's down 10% or more. But that's usually when the stock is moving down to 10%. This is already opening at the day down, like, you know, 90%, 80% down on the day already. So the SSR long idea doesn't really apply. You're just kind of saying, you know, I'm playing for the fact that the company, or the stock price, not the company, the stock price is not going to zero today. I'm betting on the stock price not going to zero today, so I'll get long and see if there's an opportunity to get a, you know, beautiful easy scalp to the upside. And if you were patient enough, you were able to capture about a 20% scalp on the stock, not by risking too much. The pre-market low was 355, today's low was 370, so just by risking about 20 cents, you got about 80 cents of reward. So you know, there was an opportunity there, but was it something I would have taken today? No. Did I take it? Did I take it today? No. But you know, we'll be on watch for tomorrow. If today's levels kind of turn into an inside day tomorrow, then I might be very turned off and not really interested on this position. I want to see the stock really get above today's high and show me buying above today's high, which is $5. At that point, we can potentially look for some sort of a retracement back long opportunity on this name. But it's almost a question of, you know, who would really buy this stock. So watching the $5 area, we'll see if a trade sets up. The priority on this name is pretty low for tomorrow. Xena, this stock is pretty, I mean, crazy. My algo today went long on this name. Let's go find some other statistics. Holy moly, the amount of windows. Xena is, what is Xena? Market cap 111 million, shares 1 million, and 29% short flow. So Xena ripping it to the north side. Recent IPO, really? I don't remember trading this. Potentially because I don't look at small IPOs like Xena. So Xena, you know, off of the IPO day, just instantly straight down and down and down. As the shorts are now trapped, we're seeing some sort of a short squeeze. Let's keep an eye on for a potential bigger short squeeze coming into play tomorrow. So very much on the watch list. For me, it's basically watching how today's VWAP comes into play. If today's VWAP holds, then people are still trapped on this stock, in my opinion, for the short side, and we could still see some big moves to the upside. Potentially not tomorrow, but over the next few days. But tomorrow, if we do hold somewhere into 475, we open up higher, that'll be fine. But let me be honest with you, moves like this, they gap up in pre-market, or sorry, not gap up, they go active in pre-market, they rally much higher into the open, and then they find the top, and the rugs just start getting pulled on this name, and instantly just the stock goes all the way back down. So tomorrow could open up a big short if we're opening up into $11, into $20. The higher the stock is opening up into, the more crazier and juicier the short will be, but then also the more crazier and juicier the long is if we're trapping the shorts and the stock is just going higher and higher and higher. So potentially very much on the watch list tomorrow. 100 million shares traded today on a stock whose float is only like what, 2 million, 1.5 million. So the amount of float rotation is also nuts at the moment. Today's high 735. We got the all-time high at $11, which is the IPO high. So a bunch of levels over here to keep an eye on. The main level for me, it's that $5.22 all the way down to, well, it's not like a to the price point, right? But anywhere from 520, which is where the today's VWAP is on the daily chart, all the way to 470, which is where today's VWAP is on the 5-minute chart. I'm gonna continue looking to see if buyers come in and try to protect the stock from going too far to the downside. So this little pocket of zone for Xena, if buyers can step in, let's see if we can fly Xena to the high side, some sort of a craziness action. And if the craziness actually happens in pre-market itself and we open up much higher, then I'm potentially looking for a short instead. Priority purple priority, high. I'm gonna put some notes in here for myself too. If stock opens above 11 or higher, looking for short. I'll just say looking for short for now. Resistance 11, I'll put 11 just because I think we can easily open up into that price point. I'm also going to mark up $11 because I easily think we can open up into that price point. Let's go to SMCI. SMCI reclaiming some levels at the moment. We are now back above whatever this anchored VWAP is. I guess the day before the split, some sort of a news. Maybe that was the day where the short report came out. No, the short report must have come out much earlier actually. Whatever this anchored VWAP is, I have a purple anchored VWAP. We finally got above it. You also see how this consolidation box level. Oh, you know what? I now pay for, fuck right I do. Hell yeah, I now pay for pattern pay for trading view. So let's turn on some patterns over here and see what patterns are setting up. Oh, that looks bullshit. I guess it looks good. Target, it never really hit that target. But no pattern setting up? I thought this box area would set up for some sort of a pattern. All right, turn this garbage off. Coming back to SMCI and just manually looking at it, you can see how this area has had a box on SMCI, and now that we're kind of pushing back into the low end of that range and reclaiming that low end, I'm interested to see how SMCI will act into that price point. Do we see buying above $40? Do we see selling around $40? Today we clearly struggled around 40 and didn't really manage to get above what, 39 even. But tomorrow, if we start holding above 40, then all of this new news catalyst, and I told you guys, SMCI could be something to keep an eye on. Any good news, the stock is going back into $600, $100, $300 per price per share. But any bad news, this is instantly going back into zero. So you got to be very closely tied to the news channels, to the news articles when you're trading this stock. But the opportunities are just immense, so keep an eye on this one tomorrow. Looks like we might just be able to start reclaiming the $40 level. Any buying above 40 on SMCI, I'm interested in long. If stock can hold above 40, I'm looking long. Let's go to the quantum computing. IonQ. IonQ, big move to start off the day with, but got sold off, did not do as well as its partners in crime, QUBT, and other people did 26% to the upside on QUBT. So let's start off with QUBT instead, because this one might be a little bit more important than IonQ, as people are potentially shifting away from IonQ and parking their money into other companies that could also have some appreciation, also have some love. At the same time, QUBT now has news coming behind it, right? QUBT had AWS announcement, so that's Amazon Web Services. Amazon now looking into quantum computing using QUBT. That's great news for that company. We're getting some positive momentum to the upside because of that. So all eyes on QUBT now, and IonQ looking like the love for IonQ is dying out. The stock is much higher than QUBT. Right, so you could potentially look for some sort of failure to follow through setup over here. I'm not sure this really qualifies for it. I shouldn't really talk about setups that I don't know too much about and I'm trying to learn, but this could potentially be that, because you got this area right there into $30. It says 30.50, yes, but I want to say, you know, a little bit around $30, 30.50 to $30. If IonQ can really find selling below that, why not do we go back into the earnings anchored VWAP of 25 over a swing period of 2-3 days? Not that the market has 2-3 days, because we're going on a vacation on Thursday, not a vacation, but a day off on Thursday and a half day on Friday. Shout out to Thanksgiving. But if we don't hold 30, why don't we, you know, why not get a bigger pullback to look for a short? So I want to see for a short opportunity here, but with the current momentum and love that the stock, not the stock, but the sector has, maybe 30 holds and gives you a better long instead for a short. So you're continuing to watch all the way from 30.50 to $30 to see how the stock sets up on a potential love for the did I just really type that? Okay, love for the sector. Takes the stock higher, or potentially shifting of money takes that stock lower and takes other stocks in the same sector higher. Other stocks in the same sector higher being QUBT, QMCO. I'm guessing it is Quantum, QMCO Quantum, QBTS, D-Wave Quantum Inc. All right, ASPI, what are you? ISP Isotopes Inc. Health Tech. You're not Quantum. Rigetti Computing. All right, we'll just say this one's Quantum also. So we'll move Quantum Rigetti to a little bit higher than ASPI. What is ASPI? Is this Quantum? And this is not even setting up for a trade yet. So do we really care about this one that much? Hey, do we really care about this one that much? It's not really setting up for a trade yet. And also this might be like a swing account trade instead. So I'm gonna downgrade ASPI from the watch list for tomorrow. Let's continue back to the watch list, QUBT. So you're basically watching QUBT, even though today is not really day one. Today is day one of news. So that is, I guess, a little bit of a day one catalyst, but the stock has had a little bit of traction before that. You could say some insider trading. People knew something was gonna happen before the news actually came out. That's just the nature of the game, right? So people knew. We got some people buying up into the low lows and pumping the stock up to the north side. Eventually that news dropping, so now you could get a sell the news event, which is usually what happens, as people who bought up in these areas are now going to take profit. Or you might get a stock offering because the stock has rallied pretty far to the upside. They don't think there's more or higher upside for them. They take a stock offering, they generate some money, they put that money into the company, do actual good with that money, hopefully, instead of just paying salaries and keeping the lights on. And the company might do that. So a bunch of things might happen that we just don't know what to expect. So ideally, you want to look for the stock holding above today's VWAP. right off the bat, looks like we're not doing that. Looks like we're not holding above today's VWAP, and look at that, we're just holding up below today's VWAP. We kind of been back and forth around it. Today's VWAP is fairly flat too. I wouldn't be surprised if tomorrow's VWAP is fairly flat. Today's candle is ridiculously high, but you can say that about the last few candles over here too, right? The stock doesn't really have to follow the formula of most other stocks like Nvidia, like Amazon. Usually when stocks like Nvidia, Amazon have a big candle, the next candle is not ridiculously big like these, right? So stocks like these can do whatever they want. It's almost a trap. People are just laying traps, but these traps also have a news catalyst behind them, which makes it way more juicier to play with, because now it's like, okay, is the person playing the trap the right, or is the person playing the gamble for the long side, or playing the investment, the swing trade for the long side in the right? So love watching those battles play out. Usually when the small cap stocks are just getting pumped and dumped, you know what you're playing. There's no news behind it, or the news is trash, so you're just playing the mean reversion back down once the shorts open up. But with news catalysts like this, with the sector love like this, it's anyone's guess is as good as mine at that point. So I want to see how today's low, today's VWAP, today's high behaves. Today's high is ridiculously high, obviously $9.20, but boy oh boy, let's see if we can push back into that $10. That's the SPAC number, which honestly shouldn't matter because I don't think this was a SPAC. Was it a SPAC? No, it does not look like it was a SPAC. So it should not matter, but can we push into the beautiful even psychological $10 tomorrow, get above it, or do we just reject from it? I know today's high is actually $9.20, but the psychological level 10 I think would be something to keep an eye on. Stock potentially opens into $8, rallies into 9, goes into 10, traps some longs into 10, and then dumps back to the downside. That is a setup that I could see happening. I'm not saying it's a short, but it's a setup that I can see happening as a day trade. So watching very carefully how the stock sets up into today's ranges all day tomorrow. So high priority, all of these names: QUBT, QMCO, same idea. Big candle today, big candle yesterday. Looks like day one was kind of day one over here with very light volume. So ideally, if you want to call this day one, let's also go into the pre-market, see if volume started off in pre-market. It did not. Volume started off right in the middle of the day right there on QMCO. So let's just start the whole day from 9:30. So from 9:30 yesterday till today, so you're basically watching what is that, Monday's VWAP, Friday's VWAP. You're watching Friday's VWAP for tomorrow to see if any buying opportunity comes in. If the stock shows you dip buy opportunity, wow, surprise, surprise, the VWAP is exactly at today's open. So if we have any buying opportunities at today's open on QMCO on any dips, I think there's an easy long over there, but ideally the stock shouldn't get below even $18. So that might be your first dip buy opportunity. If we get below 18, I think the next stop for you to wait for will be, I'm going to put 18 first. The next stop for you to wait for is, what is that, 1350. 1350 is the next stop to keep an eye on. If we get below 1350, then the floodgates might be opening to the downside. Today's high, 2778. Before that, I'm going to watch this 2350 to 25 area. Looks like some seller was sitting in this area, parked their order for quite some time, and didn't really allow the stock to get higher. So watching this area right here, 2335, 2350, 2430. So watching that whole pocket area, I'm just going to say 2350 to 24. I'll just say 25. Fuck it. 25. Watching how that area plays out. And then above that, we got 28 on QMCO to keep an eye on. Today's VWAP is... If you turn off extended trading hours, it says today's VWAP is $20. If you turn on extended trading hours, which you know, I would potentially keep on, because these stocks actually do decent amount of volume in pre-market. That comes in around $18, so that's basically where the line that I marked. Also, you can see how those bottoms coming in the after hours right into that $18 VWAP. So that I'm saying 18 should hold. If we do get below 18, 1350 is my bottom dollar that I'm gonna allow the stock to get into. After that is just like no go for me. It's just I'm not looking long after, you know, the stock getting below 1350 at all. Let's go to QBTS. What did this stock do today? Down 1.3% after gapping up a little bit. So kind of like IonQ. I guess sympathy, it tried to have sympathy behind it, but pulled right back. Did it bounce off of today's VWAP? Let's go see, or yesterday's VWAP, I want to say. So yesterday's, did I turn off the anchored VWAPs? No, they were on. Where is it? Looks like we basically bounced, or we tried to bounce off of yesterday's. That's not yesterday's, is it? Yesterday's plus, yeah, that's the overall. Oh, sometimes my own charts are pain in the ass for me to read. On God. This is why you have multiple layouts. Because you screw up a layout once, you're done. You're just never getting that layout back again. So that right there is yesterday's VWAP into $2.54. So not really pulling all the way back into yesterday's VWAP, but if you put in a marker right there, you can see how that kind of came into play right there for a little bit. We tried to bounce off the continuous VWAP, but we failed and eventually got below. We now are holding above the 5-day moving average. Maybe we continue to hold above the 5-day moving average, but the 100 million volume traded on this stock today. All right, maybe it is high priority tomorrow. I was gonna say potentially not a high priority, maybe a little bit of a lower priority compared to QUBT and QMCO, but no, they're doing tons of volume, tons of RVol too. You can see how my RVol volume indicator over here is just full rainbow right now, showing you tons of RVol taking place. So yeah, 100% watching this one for some opportunities. RGTI, just another one added to the watch list. The setups are basically the same. You're watching today's candle. There's a lot of information in today's candle, today's low, today's VWAP, today's high, and within those ranges you'll find some easy opportunities like that low right there into 260, 250 area. This is a $2 stock, so you're gonna be even more careful. You're gonna have to be also looking into what the stocks RG, not C, RGTI. What's the stock's flow? What's the market cap? Okay, 158 million flow, and the market cap 621 million. Short float 16% short flow. Not in the red, but very close to red if you ask me. I think red on Finviz is anything over 20%. So still in the very close to red. There's a stone's throw away from red over here for RGTI. But the same basket of stocks to keep an eye on. Basically the quantum name that you're gonna keep in. You're gonna watch to see how stocks set up. For the most part, I think if you're day trading these, pick one. Even if you're swing trading these, pick one and trade it well, because they're potentially all going to do the same thing. Pick one and trade it well. Maybe you can also use a little trick that my friend Dieter uses, which is have these stocks on a scanner or a watch list, and then I'm not sure if heat map actually shows you quantum computing sector exactly, but he looks at stocks on a heat map, and he looks at what sector is winning, what stock within the sector is winning, and then he looks for long, because he doesn't go short. He has a cash only account. He's rich. He only uses cash and he only goes long. So you know, he looks for stocks that are up on the day, a sector that's up on the day, a stock that's up on the day, the strongest in the sector, and then he looks for longs on dips, longs into moving averages, longs into VWAPs, longs into holds, and so on, and he rides it. He's been on like a insane run up recently, so you could do something like that. So watch this whole sector to see what happens, but you want to keep an eye on potentially the best stock in the sector if you're only looking long, or if you want to look for the weakest stock in the sector if you're only looking short, right? Over here, I'm kind of planning for them all because I want to be ready for it if the opportunity sets up. Let's go to Rivian. We briefly talked about Rivian. We were debating, or by we, I should say I was debating if I want to put Rivian on the watch list, because what happened last time? Rivian popped up, was looking good, immediately negative news, and we're right back to the downside. So Rivian, you know, it was just like, wow, what the hell, Rivian? But thankfully, not that I'm invested in it or anything, but just for looking for the long trade opportunity, thankfully we dived back into previous ranges and held previous ranges perfectly. So now that we're popping back over here, in my opinion, the stock needs to hold at the very least above 1150, but I don't think it will, because that's very close to where we actually closed today. If we go down to $11 on Rivian tomorrow and stay above 11, I think there's a long there. If we stay above 1150, that's staying above 11 basically. So if you stay above 1150, then there's already a long there for us to play with on Rivian. So we'll keep an eye on it. I think today's high says 1184. I'm just gonna say $12. If the stock can find buying above 1150, go into 12, breakout 12, I think there could be a move into 13 tomorrow for some sort of a day 2 opportunity on Rivian. So I'll just upgrade the priority on Rivian real quick into purple from orange. It was stuck at orange. I was debating. Notice how we went from putting the stock, or every time I say we, I should say I. Notice how I went from putting the stock on debate as even having on the watch list to a low, not a low, medium priority to a high priority. Crazy how that changes. Luke Halter's in the house. What's up, Luke? How you doing, brother? Good to see you in the chat. Hopefully you are doing great. All right, let's go to MSTR. This song slaps hard. What song is this? Deep House Core by KS Beats. Yeah, sadly, this asshole KS Beats keeps charging me keeps hitting me with copyright strike. I wonder who that is. I'm joking. I actually haven't been copyright striked in a long time now. So knock on wood. Haven't been copy striked in a long time. All right, let's talk about MSTR. This is a name that Catherine it's Hicks. Boom, it's Hicks. Catherine asked about MSTR on no, I don't. Asked about MSTR on X.com. What do I think about MSTR? With the current pullback in Bitcoin, I think the obvious answer is looking for a potential a bigger short on MSTR on Coinbase. But you can see how Bitcoin actually is rallying pretty well right now. We're up 2% after tonight, which we closed a pretty big down move on that move over there. Maybe if we even adjust that, no, we can't adjust that. That kind of broke out already, right? That we kind of broke out over there. We can't adjust these lines. We leave those lines as it is. You know what? Let's turn on. Boom. Let's see if this finds the same patterns. Come on. Guess not. I guess not. This looks like Angry Buddha's chart. I made Angry Buddha laugh. I'm happy. All right. Remove the labels? Yeah, I should probably do that, huh? What the hell is a polyline? What the hell is the difference between only awaiting and last? What are all these options? All right, anyways, I'll have to play with this myself more. I'm gonna have a lot of time to play with TradingView. I'm not gonna able to go to bed tonight for sure. Let's talk about MSTR. So with Bitcoin, as long as Bitcoin holds about, what is that, 94, 95, I'm gonna give it the leniency up to 94, whatever yesterday's low was. So yesterday's low was, what is that line? 92,584. So 92,500. As long as we don't get below 92,500 on BTC, I think, you know, MSTR potentially stays above this 360, 350 area. But that is a big candle. That is potentially a capitulation candle. That might just put the top on the stock in the short-term future. There is also a very good post about MSTR's potential future and Bitcoin's potential future from a guy that I follow quite a bit. Ooh, thank you, Angry Buddha, for promoting my channel. And MSTR being talked about through Moist Mango. Moist Mango talked about right over here. Personally, where is this? There we go. Beginning to get overextended on the weekly. Michael Saylor couldn't budget higher with a $5 billion buy. MSTR cleanly rolling to the downside. Reaction to Michael Saylor news deeply negative. And lastly, it is setting up in a way where I can rebuy later. So hence this person took his profits on his long on the upside for Bitcoin, you know, took the money and ran with it, potentially took the breakout of 70k and ran it all the way to the upside. Not sure if he said how much he made, but knowing this guy, he makes a lot of money. So it looks like you know, taking advantage from the move from the election night, locked in 50 to 100 R, closing off my heavy BTC long from the election night at around 97k. So a big trader over here taking profits on the cryptocurrency move from the election night move overall, noticing that even with Michael Saylor trying to take the stock, or not the stock, the underlying higher than 100k with the big buy was not successful. So, you know, maybe more buying is required. So we're just gonna keep an eye on over here if we eventually do get above the 100k. But you know, at the time being, looks like the Grim Reaper, aka Jim Cramer, has put the top in on Coinbase, on stock, on BTC, on MSTR. And if that's the case, it's a no-brainer short that we're gonna keep an eye on all these stocks as a day trade. Watching MSTR for a potential breakdown below this you can say support over here / resistance over here, right? So very good pivot point, I will say, right around 380. Even the day one's low, which is what, 372. So anywhere from 380 to 372, you're watching to see if bottoms actually start to open up. That's also kind of where the earnings anchor VWAP is coming into play on MSTR. There's actually a different setup that I would actually look to keep apply on MSTR. But that's something that I'm gonna keep to myself, because that's my secret sauce. That's my secret sauce. But for sure on the watch list tomorrow, if you are not interested in trading a stock that is you know, very volatile such as MSTR, but you're still looking to capture the same type of move, you can keep an eye on MSTX or SMST. Yeah, I remember. SMST. So you can keep an eye on SMST or MSTX. SMST is a great instrument to short MSTR. You can get long SMST, and you would be shorting MSTR because this is the 2 times leverage ETF short MSTR. So good one to keep an eye on. I'm gonna put that one on my notes. SMST, that way I don't forget it. And MSTX. MSTR. Purple. Coinbase, I mean, I still stick to my point from for the last few weeks now. This is the name you want to look for a short if Bitcoin really starts to crumble. And right now, Bitcoin is holding really well. But if Bitcoin, you wake up overnight and it's back under 90K, you might want to be careful if you're holding long Coinbase in this area, because we could clearly see a big gap down on Coinbase, in my opinion. I'm not trying to predict the future. I'm just, expressing my opinion, which is not financial advice. So I'm looking for shorts on pops on Coinbase. Coinbase currently looking like it wants to potentially move back into the higher end of the range and break out, however. So be careful if you're trying to follow what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to play mean reversion. I'm also trying to enforce the earnings report on the stock. However, that's not how things work. Bitcoin is trying to take the stock higher and dictate its own little rhythm on these movers. Mara, for example, today had a pretty good move to the upside. My algo went long Mara, had a pretty good day on Mara on my algo. I actually also traded Mara because my algo traded Mara, and I made profits on it. So shout out to Mara. IBIT, this is something that you could actually use as a one-to-one relation trade to the spot market Bitcoin. So now that Bitcoin is bouncing off of the overnight market going into tomorrow, watch for IBIT bouncing off of today's low, or actually even opening up a little bit higher in pre-market, and then potentially giving you a dip buy long. As long as Bitcoin is not going red, you can look for dip buy longs on IBIT. That could be a very easy long for you to keep an eye on, instead of looking to make trades on MSTR or on Coinbase, because they're so volatile and so crazy. You can just go trade IBIT as a quick little day trade. Just watch what Bitcoin is doing, just go do that on IBIT. Very simple setup over there instead. So keep an eye on this one. SMR, we talked about this briefly. I'm interested to see how today's low 27 to 27.50 area comes into play. Priority, I'll potentially put this one into the orange or blue priority. I want to see if there is volume in the stock in pre-market to begin with. If there is volume in the pre-market, and the other two stocks which have pulled back, the stocks that don't really have news catalyst to begin with, these were the sympathy names, and now the sympathy names are diluting themselves. So NNE going through a dilution. OKLO kind of had a little bit of a catalyst itself later on, but SMR was the one that had the catalyst first. So watching to see how this one starts to react after the sympathy gainers start to sell off. Does this one sympathize itself back to the downside also, or does it start to actually hold previous levels and show some buying for us to get long into? So that's $27 to $27.50. See if SMR can give you a long there. SRRK, this one potentially another short squeezer. I think that's what Centerpoint's article mentioned. SRRK, short flow 22%, 68 million short flow, 3.9 billion float overall. I think we talked about this a little bit. Not a lot of volume traded in this area. I think you could see a dip buy back into 31 to 50, whatever that price is, even 32, anywhere from 31 to 32, you could see a dip buy. But if the stock actually holds up in front of, let's say, what is that, 35, 38, let's just say 35.50, right? Nice and easy numbers. If the stock starts to find buying above 35.50, $35, I think there's still a long there that you can potentially look to get into, as some of the shorts might still be getting trapped in these areas. So 35, $50 to $35, I'll be looking to see if there's a long on any of a dip there. Below that, we got that $31 area to keep an eye on. Lots of trading took place in these areas for that breakout to take place, so we'll be continuing to see if buyers are there in those areas. But today's VWAP looks like we are already below today's VWAP. We're actually closing in the low end of the range of today's range. So obviously watching today's low, watching today's VWAP, watching today's high, basic levels over there that I always talk about. On a big move like these levels are very, very important. So keep an eye on those areas. Zoom. Actually gapped up. Interesting. Gapped up, but let me just delete all my lines here. Gapped up but sold off in the after hours off the earnings report. So let's go read the report here. We're just now getting to the earnings report. Boy, oh boy, our watch lists are getting insane these days. 1.18 beating 1.16, 1.38 beating 1.31. What is the growth? No growth. Okay, anyways, revenue was up 3.6% year over year. Enterprise revenue 5.8%. Revenue was flat year over year. Online revenue was flat over year. Zoom noted online monthly average churn reached an all-time low of 2.7%. Net cash provided by the operating activities 483.2 million, down 2% year over year. Net cash flow came up 1% year over year. Zoom ended with approximately 192,000 customers. Almost 4,000 of those customers were contributing more than 100 grand and trailing idiots. All 4,000 of them are idiots. Absolute morons. And trailing 12 months revenue at quarters end up approximately 7.1% year over year. The company said it ended the quarter with 7.7 billion in the cash and cash equivalents and marketable securities. Guidance expects fourth quarter revenue to be in the range of 1.175 to 1.8, same thing basically, versus 1.17 estimates. Even the estimates are kind of, they're just lame at this point. Fourth quarter EPS 1.29 to 1.3. My personal bias against Zoom is never going to be bullish, just never going to be bullish. Zoom expects full year revenue 4.65 to 4.66 billion versus 4.64, 5.41 to 5.43 versus 5.35. That's the only kind of a realistic beat that we saw. As Zoomtopia, bruh. Major milestones such as AI Companion 2 and paid for add-ons for the AI Companion and the industry, blah blah blah, bunch of AI nonsense. Yeah, nobody cares. Nobody likes your company. I guess 4,000 people will do enough to pay 100,000 for some reason. God, it just doesn't make sense. People are idiots. Zoom. Nice little downside move over here in the after hours. We did, however, if you see what happened, basically broke out to the north side. So technically the stock is a breakout, and I would say we held above that breakout area price. Where's my line? Was that the breakout price? Oh, we actually broke down below the breakout price. Okay, that's pretty I guess good for me. That's a little bit of a surprise, but that's a pretty big move over there. You can see how this day's high is kind of where the after hour bounce came in. I think that's what happened. No, we got under that too. So what is this, yesterday's low? That's Friday's low is where the after hour bounce came into play on the stock. So okay, if Zoom basically pops into whatever these prices are, this whole pocket that looks to be a little volatile, Zoom also could be a little overextended on the daily chart. If it is overextended and the report is not being loved by the market, not that it's not showing anything, not that it's showing something really negative for the stock to get smoked to the downside, it's just not showing insane amount of growth for me. Only 3.6% growth revenue year to year. It's not good enough for me. This is simply not good enough. How expensive are you on the PE scale? Let's go check out ZM on the PE side. We got ZM at 31. That's actually not that expensive. Okay, never mind. Maybe now I have to reconsider the short, because they do make $4 billion a year. Right, they do make $4 billion a year. No matter how much I ate, they make $5 a year, and their PE is only 33. So maybe being extremely bearish is not a good idea on ZM. But hey, I'm just not a big fan of the company. But that doesn't mean I need to look for the short overly. If buyers are coming in above, let's say $87, right? If buyers are coming in above $87, I might just stay away looking from the short. I might even look for the long. I don't know. I might even look for the long if buyers come in above 87. But if no buyers above 87 and we're popping into 87, or we're actually getting rejected below below 87 on any sort of a pop. We're getting a pop into 86, we're getting a pop into 85 after we already sell off on the day. We sold off on the day, we pop into 85, and the stock is finding selling into 85. I'll gladly look for a short into 85. So looking to see what type of a short opportunity sets up on Zoom below 87 and what sort of a long opportunity sets up on Zoom above 87. A also reported today after hours. Did you move at all in the after hours? Not a move at all. So unless the stock moves in pre-market, I might not care too much about it. This is also looks to be an absolute boomer name, so very boomerish name over here. Yeah, it's got a $3 ATR. Yeah, it might move into 140, into 150, or even move down to 120, but this one just looks like a very boomer name. I think we got a bunch of names tomorrow that are reporting in the pre-market that are way more interesting. For example, ANF, Abercrombie and Fitch. This one's going to be a very, very fun name to keep an eye on. This is a little spready. I will keep, I will remind you that the stock is very, very spready. The float is around 50 million, if I remember correctly, unless they increased their float recently. Nope, still 50 million float. 8 billion market cap, 50 million float, about 10% short flow coming into play. It's 9% short flow, but about 10% short flow coming into play on ANF over here. And boy, oh boy, what a turnaround story for this company, right? What a turnaround story. You can see how these prices are now actually the 200-day moving average, which is insane. PE 16. Forward PE 14. So this company is by no means expensive. The price might be for you broke boys, but this company is by no means expensive. You can also see that beautiful trend line that Finviz has drawn for us. I love that trend line. Thank you, Finviz. Finviz hooking us up with what is I'm not really good with these chart pattern names to be exact, but I just call it a pizza slice, right? We got a pizza slice triangular pattern, and usually you might get a breakout to the upside or a breakdown to the downside. Whatever happens, you take advantage of that move. So we're watching to see how ANF sets up tomorrow off these earnings report. Maybe I draw myself that very same trend line, huh? Bang. We draw the very same trend line, and now we're locked and loaded and ready for, I call the roti slice. Man, what the fuck does that? You're being racist. Ban this guy. Angry Buddha, Dieter, mods, get this guy. No, I'm joking. We love Soze. The roti slice, whatever it is, man. The pizza slice, the roti slice. We take advantage of it and trade it and make some money off of it. So we're watching how ANF sets up tomorrow pre-market without the doubt. We're watching how KSS. However, KSS is once again not a name I'm too interested in. Look at that daily chart. I mean, unless you really get above $28 and hold above 28, you're not screaming excitement for me. Or even 30, like you're not screaming excitement for me, you know? So it could have a pop, it could give you a trade. It's a dollar ATR, 82-cent ATR, but I'm just not as, it just doesn't get my dick hard. This does not get my dick hard at all. Best Buy does. Best Buy tomorrow, we'll keep an eye on this one. You see how this one has recently started breaking out with the rest of the computing sector. So Best Buy, I'm not a big fan of Best Buy either. Same idea as Zoom. Just not a big fan of Best Buy. I think eventually Best Buy brick and mortar stores eventually all die out, as people will just buy products from online. They watch a review on YouTube. They go to the store, or not the store, I mean, so they go to the online store and they just buy it from online. However, Best Buy does thrive in one segment that a lot of people use it for, which is the warehousing, the appliance sector. You get a insurance on those parts through Best Buy, the TV, the washing machines, or your fridges, refrigerators, or whatever, right? So Best Buy does, I guess, help out people in that sector, but Costco can do the same shit for you. So I just don't see a point in Best Buy ever. You can buy laptops and fucking Apple products at Costco too, if I remember correctly. So I just don't see a point in Best Buy ever. I think Best Buy eventually will be a thing of the past, just like a product that they bought from Canada. Canada had a Future Shop, and Best Buy, if I remember correctly, bought Future Shop. So I think eventually Best Buy will just get bought out and get runned out for their inventory. However, they're reporting tomorrow, and we'll see what happens on that report. I'm not saying it's a short tomorrow, not financial advice. I have my personal opinions on what might happen in the future. In fact, not the Best Buy. Exactly. In fact, Best Buy is not the Best Buy in my opinion for the long term if you're thinking about the next 50 years. But hey, we might not even be alive for the next 50 years because shit's popping off in the world about war and nuclear bombs, and Putin saying we're gonna nuclear missile ICBMs being launched and all kinds of crazy shit happening. You know, my two managers were asking each other. My one manager asked the other manager, what would you do if you got a alert, like cause we got an Amber Alert. I don't know if you guys in America have this thing called Amber Alert. We have this thing called Amber Alert in Canada. So Amber Alert test went off, and Amber Alert is basically an alert that, hey, like, oh, a kid got kidnapped, or a big a storm is coming your way, get to shelter. So what if you get an Amber Alert saying nukes are headed your way? What would you do? Get under the table? What would you do? And my other manager said, first I would punch short, then I would punch get under the table, which was like just a typical trader answer. It was a funny answer, you know, just a trader answer. First I would punch short the whole market, and then I would just get under the table and pray to God that the markets are still alive, because oh boy, that would be a big payout. But yeah, sadly, wipeout. Wipeout. What would you spend that money on? What would you spend that money on? Your presence of mind to punch short. Exactly. Punch short, and then, you know, kiss your family goodbye. Punch short, kiss your family goodbye. Alright, Best Buy, we're watching this one, what happens. Macy's, big move to the downside today off of some scandal, or they resolved the scandal of accounting fraud, about $150 million of accounting fraud, that someone was moving around money, potentially hiding money, and paying themselves somehow. However, they're reporting tomorrow. We'll see if there's a trade opportunity on Macy's. DKS, BURL, ADI, all of these stocks also reporting tomorrow. Obviously, watching the report, reading the report, watching the pre-market moves, and then creating a plan off of them at that point. At the moment, they are just simply on the watch list. Let's continue down the list. It's already 9:14 and we're nowhere down the list. SMTC, 5% up today. Semiconductor stock, electronic technology. So up today, it popped up on one of my scanners, and not only did it pop up on the scanner, it also popped up on Bargate's request. So Bargate wanted us to take a look at SMTC. Looks good, man. If you ask me, this is just a straight V-shaped recovery. It got sold off, bounced off of one of the moving averages that I have mapped out, which is what, the 50-day moving average. Bounced off the 50-day moving average, and just a nice V-shaped recovery straight back to the upside, back into the 52-week high over here of $54. So in my opinion, this might be one of the most highest priority trade tomorrow, especially if we see the stock holding above 54. Any dip buys into 54 or a breakout above 54 tomorrow could be very interesting on SMTC. That's kind of the only level I want to play with. Today's high up to $54. Let's go to the next one, KODK. Previously a big important stock for the small cap, short flow, meme squeeze names back in the GMC, AMC days. The stock did go absolutely crazy. but now going bonkers again looks like KODK. So obviously watching if there's another day of volume, another day of liquidity, but you can, if you just pull back, you can see how today's volume and today's move is almost insignificant. So I'm not that interested on KODK, but it's on the watch list. It's on the watch list. ACHR, this whole sector is for sure on the watch list. I'm gonna call this the DJI sector because sadly that company is not public, but that's the company that does it best, right? Nobody does better than DJI, right, Dieter? Nobody does it better than DJI. So DJI just absolutely killing it in the drone game at the moment. You got this most recent high into 750, which we basically closed under, slightly under, and you got the previous high of 790, 780, where we basically tickled and sold off below. So watching how the stock reacts into these levels again. If we're not able to even hold 750 on the bid tomorrow on any sort of a pop off the open or later on in the day, there's just no long at all. If we're not able to hold above 750, there's simply no long on the stock. But if 750 starts to turn into support, and we start playing with 750 to $8 range, there could be a big breakout tomorrow through 8, or over the next few days a big breakout over 8 to the north side as the sectors start heating up to the north side and starts flying off. So watching ACHR, watching JOBY, this one gave you a nice breakout today above $7.50. I don't think we move all the way back to 750 for a dip buy opportunity. Where's the VWAP on the 5-minute chart? It's around 790, so let's say 790 to $8. I think I don't think we see the stock going back to 750, 760, do we? I mean, if it does, you're still watching that area as a long, if it does, right? So today's VWAP 790, up to $8, let's say, and then below that you're watching 760 to 750 area for a potential second dip buy opportunity if we get below today's VWAP on JOBY. So another name in the drone sector. RCAT, this one is one that Dieter loves watching. Let's watch RCAT potentially, for more upside. The whole sector is just going crazy, but the other two stocks kind of had I guess not really a day one. These ones have been flying off to the north side for quite some days. Yeah, they've been going crazy for quite some days. So not really day one, and these stocks have been having like what, day 3, day 4 now. So more upside is potentially crazy to expect, even on the other two that we just looked at. But if buying does show up at these previous levels, then who am I to fight the upside? Who am I to fight the upside? So, watch previous days VWAPs, watch the 5-day moving average, watch for the 5-minute trading chart patterns to set up. RCAT actually very close to the 5-day moving average. So basically around $9 into today's low, which is what, $8.60. As long as the stock doesn't get below that, I'd say you can look for a long there. Look for a long on a potential longer upside. But if we start getting below today's low, that could really open up some floodgates on the stock. So you want to be very careful if the stock starts to get below today's low. This is also very extended, so if you're looking for a swing trade, I'd be very, very careful. This is very extended. This is usually when stocks set up for a very big short opportunity back to the downside. So ACHR, JOBY, RCAT, this is usually when stocks set up for a big short opportunity. For example, MSTR, right? MSTR goes parabolic to the upside, gets set up for a short. There's a great archive that somebody posted on Twitter, or should I say x.com, that I was going through last night. There's a great archive of what is called the parabolic mean reversion short. So if you just go through the charts, you'll learn a bunch of examples. For example, MSTR, you'll see how the chart sets up, potential entries for the short side, Tesla, when Tesla went parabolic recently, potential short entries. When MSTR went, when DXYZ went parabolic, when DJT went parabolic going into pre-election days, how to potentially look for shorts on those. So there is a good library of charts here that somebody collected and keeps updating and posts on Twitter. So take advantage of tools like this on X.com, and I think these stocks could very well set up for something like that. If we start seeing the floodgates being opened up and the stocks getting flushed to the downside, the drones are getting hunted. Have you guys seen that video? Drones getting hunted by an eagle? I won't bother looking for it. I don't have time for all that. But drones getting hunted by eagle. This drones over here could get hunted by eagles, so you want to be careful for that. Teladoc making a nice move to the upside. Nice breakout over here also. Not sure what the news was. I forget what the news was, I'll be honest with you. Day 1, day 2, day 3, I guess is kind of done with the basic day 3 move overall. Any dip buy, we could potentially look for a long on Teladoc, but I'm not too hot on even trading Teladoc unless there's a real opportunity. Whoa, what is that nosedive after hours? That looked a little interesting over there. Okay, it looks like Nvidia might be not being loved by the market as much as we previously thought. Now getting back under potentially Apple's market cap. Apple now still 3.52. Apple regaining the top seed for the biggest market cap in the world, and Nvidia is now setting up for losing that spot. So Nvidia pushing back down, semiconductors losing some steam apparently, so Nvidia opening up some downside. Tesla opening up some downside today, also getting below 350. I did not think Tesla would give up 350 anytime soon. It gave it up right quick, gave it up the next 2 days right away. So pretty sad to watch that level break, but yeah, that's just the name of the game, I guess. We're still got a couple anchored VWAPs. We got the election anchored VWAP, we have the earnings anchored VWAP, and we got a lot of buyers showing that they are interested in buying Tesla in these levels. So watching Tesla, but this could still give you another good short setup like it did previously if we start getting below the 330 or so. So watching how Tesla sets up for some bigger opportunities to the downside. Apple now going higher. I think the only level I now care about on Apple is the all-time high, basically 237.23, 237.50 is the all-time high. I kind of only care about that level. Without that, Nepa, don't care about it. Amazon reclaimed 200. Shout out to Amazon, but it's now choppy. 200 is no more the clean level that we want it to be. So it's a very choppy level. It's going back and forth from it. If you look at the earnings anchored VWAP, now we're below the earnings anchored VWAP and kind of rejecting from that level also. As a day trade, not really too interested for Amazon. I think we got way more interesting stocks, way better levels to keep an eye on. Meta also rejecting the earnings anchored VWAP at the moment, sadly, and holding under that, so not really looking too strong on Meta. Palantir broke out of the all-time high today to start off the day, but then sold right back to the downside. It's a little bit of a bearish move, but still closed bullish, I guess, on Palantir, so that's good, but a little bit of a bearish move. UAVS, that's a stock that we forgot to keep an eye on for the EV sector. This one potentially has a little bit more catching up to do, I guess, compared to the other ones. If the other ones are rallying and you feel like you missed out the train and you want to catch one, maybe UAVS is one to add to your watch list over there. Let me just quickly add UAVS to my watch list. As long as the stock stays above 5 or can easily clear above $6 and hold above $6 tomorrow, I think there is a good trade opportunity for the long side on UAVS, as long as obviously JOBY, ACHR continue going higher. But as I just said not too long ago, those stocks might be setting up for a little bit of a backdoor showing up, like shorts showing up anytime soon. Palantir looked like it was trying to break out of the all-time high. It did break out, but a little bit of a fail break out of the all-time high for sure on the watch list without a doubt. APP moving back into previous levels and gave you a pretty nice scalp off of previous levels, but no real trade unless we get a bigger dip buy, in my opinion, for a bigger trade. SHOP, I think this one, oh, nice reclaim of that level. I was looking for that 106 area. It did reclaim 106, but still not really too interested to make a decision on Shopify as a day trade. Snowflake, I think if we continue to hold 170, which we are, right? We hold 170 today. 171 was basically the hold today. As long as we continue holding 170, I think there's going to be another opportunity setting up on Snowflake very, very soon. So dip buys into 170. I think the earning anchor VWAP is also getting pulled up into 170 at the moment. It is currently a little bit higher than yesterday. Yesterday was 167.44. Now the earnings anchored VWAP is 168.44, so 168.50 basically. So $1 above from yesterday is how much the earnings anchored VWAP moved from all of today's action, showing you that, you know, buyers are still stepping up, but they're being that looks very much like yesterday's chart, does it not? That's interesting. So buyers are stepping up, but they're still being a little hesitant. So as long as buyers keep stepping up above 170, I think any dip buy into 170, you can continue to look long on Snowflake. That's a trade opportunity that I am very interested to look for. AFRM, did you do something today? Because I know you were going crazy for the last few days. AFRM up 4%. Nice little double top, I guess. Yesterday's high is basically today's high. That $70 area potentially of some interest for us now. If we can get above 70 and stay above 70, maybe another good long setting up on Affirm, sorry. But if we start finding some weakness into 70, I think there's an easy short on Affirm. Square still struggling into $94, $95, pulling back into 90. Wow, pulling back into 89, 90, and actually giving you a little bit of a bounce off of that. So still giving you range. I think if a Square can get below 89, that's going to give you a beautiful short. But if Square starts getting back above 94, that's going to give you a beautiful long. So very clean box to trade. When you got a setup like this, you just let the setup play out, let the box play out, and then you just have fun with the outcome later on. Let Jesus take the wheel, punch and pray later. So let's see what happens on Square. UPST, we talked about this breakout yesterday, the $75 breakout. What did I actually break? I kind of dropped something and I just kind of ignored it completely, but whatever. UPST broke 75 cleanly and just charged to the upside throughout the day. So you're watching UPST for any sort of a pullback and hold, any hold above today's VWAP, any hold above today's high. Today's high basically $81. So very interested to see how UPST sets up. And SoFi, wow, we were $16. How much am I up in my personal account on SoFi? I'm never fucking selling. Let's go. We're up 16% on SoFi now, chat. We're up 16 full percent on SoFi. We're killing it, chat. We're killing it. So SoFi finally up to the north side, and looking good, boys. Looking good, looking beautiful. So keep charging up there, my beautiful stock. It's the only one in my portfolio, and I'm never fucking selling it. Never fucking selling it. All right. Not making the same mistake I did with Palantir. Or Amazon, or Tesla, or Google, or Nvidia. God, I suck at long-term holding. That's my day trading curse, man. That's my day trading curse. Look, I started off my journey as a day trader. Okay, it's gonna take a while to transform myself into a swing and an investor. It's gonna take a lot to transform myself to that level. But that, ladies and gentlemen, is basically the watch list for tomorrow. Let's quickly go take a look at the IPO calendar. Hopefully there's no IPO tomorrow, because I don't want my watch list to be bigger than it already is. It is ridiculously long, man. Holy smokes. No IPOs tomorrow. There could be one to potentially keep an eye on. Brazil Potash Corp. Okay. 26, that's tomorrow. God damn it. God. Alright, let's go watch this. Brazil. Brazil. Da la 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 la. Hello? There we go. IPO November 26th, Brazil, mineral exploration and development company with the potash mining. What the hell is a potash? Is that potato? Is this Canada? Why is your name Brazil? You better, yeah, okay, yeah, you better operate in Brazil. Okay, what the hell? But your corporate office is in Toronto, Canada. Okay, gotcha. Potash Mining Corp located in Amazonas, Brazil. Our technical operations are based in Altauzes, Amazonas, Brazil, and Belo Horizonte, Minas Gerais, Brazil, and our corporate office in Toronto, Ontario, Canada. We are in pre-revenue. Ah, come on, dude. 24 employees for a mining project. So you got nobody. Davenport, I know where that is. What was the address, chat? 198? Wrong side. That's 200. This has got to be 198. That's 198. Okay. This sir. Scam. 198 Davenport Road. Looks like a fine art gallery. What the? Alright, this is an automatic short tomorrow, is it not? Automatic short tomorrow. If this stock IPOs at $18, this is just an automatic short tomorrow. 40 million share float, $600 market cap, $600 million market cap, sorry. Automatic short of this IPOs. If GRO opens tomorrow at anywhere in these ranges or higher, automatic short. No matter what. Not financial advice at the end of the day. That is your IPO calendar. Let's go take a look at the economics calendar. Anything hot on the econ calendar? Nothing really that I see that are 3-star events other than new home sales at 10 o'clock. Another 3-star event. We got one tomorrow. FOMC minutes at 2 o'clock on Tuesday, November 26th. On a holiday weekend. Sorry, on a holiday week. Come on, dude. What's going on over here? We had 2 big events basically this week that got snuck into the market that a lot of people did not even see. Today was the Morgan Stanley rebalance. A lot of stocks went absolutely haywire today, so that was profitable. Then you had the tomorrow we have the Morgan Stanley, sorry, the FOMC minutes coming out at 2 o'clock. So that one's very important. So tomorrow 2 o'clock, keep an eye on to see how the market moves around tomorrow or not. Pony IPO Wednesday. No, it's not. Shut up. Did they move it to Wednesday? This is exactly what happened with WRD. They were supposed to IPO a certain date. They did not IPO, and they IPO'd the next week, Wednesday. Exactly what's happening with Pony, and surprisingly enough, it's the exact same company, exact same product, exact same country. So I'm surprised how that's all happens that way, right? So we'll see if if PONY gives you a short opportunity exactly like WRD did off the IPO open. So we'll see how that one sets up. But ladies and gentlemen, that is basically my watch list for tomorrow. I wish D all the best for tomorrow. We have a short week. Do keep in mind there is a holiday on November 28th. That means Friday is a half day for the market. That means Wednesday will be the final day of the stream for this week, just so you know. So I'm not going to stream Thursday. It just doesn't make sense. No market Friday. I mean, there is a market Friday, but I'm not gonna go in on Friday. I'm gonna take the 4-day weekend because that's a nice 4-day weekend for me. I'm gonna enjoy it, but I'll see you guys obviously on Monday, so don't be too sad. However, I'll see you guys tomorrow for all the other earnings reports that are coming out tomorrow. We got Dell. What else do we have tomorrow? We got Dell, CrowdStrike, Workday, Autodesk. So some big names reporting tomorrow. Tune in tomorrow at 8 o'clock. We'll for sure be ready for that one. And yeah, I wish you guys the best. I'm gonna go play with Trade Ideas software. Sorry, not Trade Ideas. I guess Trade Ideas. I'm gonna be playing with Trade Ideas, TradingView, and Flash Research. So why don't I just give you guys a quick shout out to my own Linktree page. So please do me a favor and head over to my Linktree page that I just posted in the 3 chats of my 3 streams. And check out my affiliate sponsors if you're interested in using any of the softwares that I use as a day trader every single day. Flash Research, Trade Ideas, TraderSync, and Benzinga Pro. These are the actual 4 softwares that I use every single day as a day trader. And if you want to be better at it, look for these products. They will help you unlock the edge in yourself, in the market, in everything. Maybe not everything, that's a stretch, but it'll help you unlock the edge. On that note, TraderPrad out. Good luck tomorrow. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace. Ready for the watch list for tomorrow, ladies and gentlemen. So I'm gonna bring in my big screen over here, back to another brand new week of After the After Hours with your host TraderPrad. I'm doing great. Hopefully you guys are joining me on that great side. Markets are moving around. Might just be a risk on type of day, so let's see what happens. 8 o'clock tomorrow. As you guys know, we do the stream Monday to Thursday, 8 p.m. Shout out to my affiliate sponsors, Benzinga, Trade Ideas, the #1 scanner to go to, TraderSync, promo code down below, promo code PRAD15 to get 15% off. I will catch you guys tomorrow, 8 o'clock, same time, same place. Until then, TraderPrad out. Adios.